Welcome to another vintage fishing rear service. Nope, no, it's not. It's not vintage. This is going to be a little different in that what I'm going to talk about today and show you fishing of today is not a vintage fishing rod and reel, but rather a relatively brand new gadget reel. And this one's called the it's by Profishiency, and it's basically like a pack combo, and it's called the Mighty Might or something like that. But I got this last year at the Walmart for $19.95, and I just couldn't resist that little thing, mainly because it just looks good. I mean, even though the reel is tiny, it seems that the nose cone is made out of metal at least, and it just looks good. It looks good. And so I thought I would get one of those. And I kind of have an affinity for these little things, because I'll show you one I bought a few years ago. And some of you may have seen these. They're all over on Amazon and online and so on. This is looks like a big marker pin or something like that, but you take that off, and this extends out into a more or less respectable fishing rod, and then this end is basically your handle, and then you put your reel on here. Now this one came with I just sort of like the look of the bait caster one, but you can get these in ones that are spin cast. But I just thought the bait cast one was kind of cool, so that just goes on there like any other fishing reel, and clamp down, and there you go. This actually works. It doesn't have a free spool. Basically, when you cast the whole crank moves like the old style bait casters. It does appear to have sort of a brake over here, and then this button here is not for free spool. That button basically, I don't know if I can find the end of the line here, but it's a brake. It's a brake on the spool, so it's basically a form of drag, because a lot of people wouldn't be able to get their thumb in there to thumb it, and so to thumb it for drag, you just push that little springy button there. Now this outfit cost $9.95. They didn't have a spin cast version, I don't believe. They just had the either the bait caster or the spinning reel, and I just thought the bait caster was a little cooler, so that's what I got. Now I got this for a different purpose than what most people probably do. Most people probably get them for a glove compartment outfit that they think they're going to go pan fishing with. That's not why I got it. I'll tell you about why I got it in a little bit later. But back to the Profishiency. This one is extendable also, but only to 20 inches total. I think that's total from butt to end is 20 inches. And the line goes through the rod. And the thing that gets me about this, that I just don't understand what the folks at Profishiency were thinking, but here's the instructions of how to thread the line through. It says, begin with the telescopic shaft in a retracted position. Insert the end of the threading wire into the tip of the shaft. Feed the threading wire through the shaft until it comes out the shaft opening. Well, here's the threading wire. It's just a piece of wire. Then it says tie the fishing line on, and you can guess, then you pull it through. Why? And that's all there is. There's no other instructions. Why do they talk about that when inside the rod itself, if you unscrew this, you will see some little weights. They look like miniature window weights. And there's a hole in them. And you can take and you tie your line to that, and then you drop this down through there. It's made to fit through there. You drop it down through there, and that's how you thread it. That's a whole area of a lot easier, if you ask me, than threading that. There's a couple of them in there. Than threading that and having to monkey around carrying that thread wire with you everywhere. And yet there's no mention of those threading weights conveniently stored in the rod in the instructions. You know, I wondered, what the heck is that? Is that just to put your hook on or something? And I started monkeying around, opened that up, and then I found out on the larger version of this, it's actually a much more functional outfit. It's more of like a dock rod that extends to 30 inches and does 6-pound line. This one's got 3-pound line. On that one, they tell you about the threading weights, but nothing about it in the instructions on this one. So if you weren't curious and didn't start monkeying around, you'd have never figured out that those were there and what they were for. So I went fishing with this last year and made a video just to see whether it was a legitimate pan fishing outfit. And I caught some little fish, but here's the deal. At full setting on the drag, it's even a tiny fish. It's just hard to pull in. Now, you don't want too much drag because it's only 3-pound test, but I don't think the drag is even tight enough for 3-pound test. The other thing, I think it advertises a 2.5 to 1 gear ratio, but I was fishing with a little Mr. Twister jig, and man, I had to reel fast to get that, to keep that lure off the bottom, and I had to reel really fast to get the fish in before it worked its way off of the hook because of the drag just not being tight enough. The other thing, the worst part about it, in my mind, is you have to kind of use your whole arm as an extension of the rod to get a good hook set. There's just not much leverage on that little thing to get a good hook set. So it casts great, you know, it functions fine, but the drag being so light, even at maximum setting, and the difficulty in getting enough leverage to get a hook set was problematic for the kind of fishing that most people might, you know, buy this for an impulse buy for backpacking and that kind of thing. Now, this other one has got a nice long rod where you can get a good hook set. The reel, and I'll bet you that the spin casting versions aren't much better, just leaves a lot to be desired. You're not going to be able to cast that very well, and so on and so forth. Well, when I saw that Profishiency Mighty Mite or whatever the hair it is, and then I thought about this, I thought, well, I kind of like that reel, and I could take that reel off and put it on my pin rod here, my telescopic pin rod, and try that. And I like that better. Still didn't fix the difficulty in winding it in fast enough and the weak drag, but I could set the hook better, and it was more fun to fight the fish and that kind of thing. And I'll show you, I caught a pretty sizable fish for these tiny little outfits. At any rate, the reason that I bought these in the first place was not for packing it into a backpack and pan fishing and all that. The reason I bought them is because, I've been engaging in what they call microfishing long before it was a fad. But there is a burgeoning hobby, if you will, of microfishing, where you use, in some cases, really, really, really tiny rods, sometimes without reels, and you're talking microscopic hooks. Some of them so small that you really can't tie a line to them. You almost have to glue your line on. And people will go out and catch species of fish that get no bigger than an inch or two, on up to, shiners and things like that. And they develop life lists of catching micro species that don't get very big. which can be a real challenge. In many cases, it's sight fishing. You have to know the habitats where these fish live, and you have to coax them to bite a hook when they have a mouth that might be 1/8 of an inch wide. And so these would make great microfishing outfits, but not particularly good for pan fishing, although they do work, as you'll see in today's video. So I had a lot of fun fishing with these, and just the success of getting a fish in, as you can see and hear. I was quite pleased with what I was able to catch, especially with the Frankenstein of the pin pole with the Profishiency micro reel on it. So let's take a look and see what happened. Oh, I just can't. Oh, I'm still on. Oh!
You got him, you got him. Oh.
No, I don't.
He's there.
That's ridiculous. It's hard to set the hook. So I think what I'm going to do, I don't know, should I wait till I at least catch one on this rig and then put it on the other rod? Because there's no leverage to set the hook. There's absolutely zero leverage to set the hook on this thing.
I'm a big fan. You got one? No, but I had some really good
My God, you gotta wind fast for these, and just to barely bring them in. Yes! Largemouth bass on the micro Proficiency pack reel.
Hold up.
Now what I'm gonna do is get this reel off this rod onto an actual micro telescopic rod, so I have enough leverage to actually set the hook.
And then they did a Costa Rica 2-year taco. Yeah. What do they like about it? They don't. They say meals included. Meal is more work. What do you get? How do you grab it? That's your breakfast. Then you have to not that bad against the big kid. No?
No. We did apple vacations. It was really light. It's just an all-inclusive place. I don't know. The company that like organizes everything for you. So like the travel was super easy. Like you get off the. What about the?
Oh yeah.
So he bought it at 15, and it was $170 of that. So he had so the guy took a massive loss that he bought it from. Well, didn't lose. He gained $2 per share, so 200. But
You missed out on a lot of money.
yeah, my buddy instantly turned around and sold it. He ended up buying a house with that money.
If that's your last thing to do, that's pretty good.
On a miniature rod. It could be a minnow.
You gotta keep up reeling. It's so important.
Yeah, what are your RPMs right now on that?
I might have to like start pumping.
I gotta stop fishing.
Oh yeah.
It's down in the weeds.
I see it.
You got like a
Largy.
no, it's a fruit. a nice
It's a
bird.
massive perch.
Yeah,
And it's in the weeds.
you're gonna get him. What a fight! What a fight!
I've got to pump because the drag's at maximum.
Wow! Fire him out.
You want us to net him for you?
Yeah. Why don't you? Because I want to get this in if I can. Hurry up.
Beautiful. Ow! I might be the best one to net.
Oh no, it's Andrew.
Come over here.
Come over here.
Here.
Pull it over here.
Making me work for it.
You might as well just go.
Oh yes.
Most impressive thing.
Yes. Especially given what it was caught on. Look at that.
Good job. And you had to show off on that cast. See how far I can cast it?
Turn him. Right here, measure him up.
I know it's more than 7. It's 9.
6 on a good
It's
day.
9 to 10.
That's a Lake St. Clair keeper right there.
At least I had him hooked good.
That's a nice big one. Best perch I've ever seen. Oh, 10?
10. Here, you want a better picture without my hand in the way?
You got it. Oh, yeah.